Oh, wala pa naman ng 5 minutes dito eh.
Uwi nga ang pinag-uusapan natin.
Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Today they're operating on Commonwealth where they've received a complaint about tricycles and motorcycles. Specifically, tricycles are not allowed on this road, although they're here every single day. Motorcycles are meant to use the motorcycle lane exclusively, although I don't really agree with that necessarily, because it's also mixed with four-wheeled vehicles and it's not always safe to stay just inside the motorcycle lane. So we'll see how today goes. And they just took the license from this driver. They'll be issuing a ticket for parking on the sidewalk. They just captured that tricycle counterflowing on the sidewalk, and they just stopped this gentleman for driving his tricycle on the sidewalk. They just stopped this gentleman here, same reason, driving on the sidewalk. He said, I don't have a driver's license, but they saw when he opened his wallet he does have a license, so he finally surrendered it. This gentleman just took the sign back off the sidewalk clearing truck. It was actually confiscated for obstructing the sidewalk. What you find on Commonwealth is a lot of properties, a lot of people have built houses and businesses, and they regularly obstruct the sidewalk. Anyway, it looks like he's giving it back to the team and it'll go back on the truck. And the team are now issuing a ticket to this vehicle sitting on hazards. If you look just behind it, there is a sign. The sign says no parking, no loading, no unloading, no waiting anytime. And these two vehicles are being ticketed for the exact same reason. Again, it's a common thing in this area because there's a school. And this taxi just stopped here. The enforcers warned him, don't unload, because there are signs clearly telling you not to, and they're advising him to pull forward. A lot of people will go into Pure Gold and unload there because they have a car park off the road. And right now the enforcer's waiting for the driver of this one to return, obstructing the sidewalk, sitting on hazards. Hazards don't exempt you from being ticketed, obviously. And they're now looking at this vehicle here with its hazard lights on. Hopefully it will be easier than the last ticket that they issued. The driver said he's waiting for a congressman. I don't know if it's true. I guess he really is, because a member of PSG just appeared. The driver surrendered a license and are being issued a ticket. There's no argument, so they just want to apply the same rules to everyone. It's difficult because, of course, if a congressman is involved, they want to show respect to him. It takes a lot of work and a lot of, you know, people's trust to get to that position. But at the same time, these guys, they don't pick and choose who to ticket. They just treat everyone the same. Of course, it's not just cars parked on the sidewalk that are ticketed. Same thing goes for motorcycles, like this one over here and this one over here, except this one doesn't have a license plate. So unless someone surrenders a license, it's impossible for them to issue a ticket, and no tow trucks to take it away. I'm guessing it's been here for a while because there's a padlock on the front disc brake. Thankfully, a driver did come back for this one. He's handed over his license. Actually, he showed he was also ticketed 2 days ago for the exact same thing. They're issuing a ticket to this gentleman driving in slippers and without helmet. And a couple of the local fixed post enforcers are issuing a ticket to this truck for coding. And right now, this jeepney and UV Express are both being ticketed. They were parked here, perhaps buying food, because there's a lot of eateries along here. Quezon City have actually been working very hard to recover their easements and sidewalks along Commonwealth. You may have seen heavy machinery along here demolishing illegal structures, and I assume they're going to cover the whole stretch of Commonwealth eventually. Just seen an enforcer pulling this one over, a tricycle. Thankfully the driver does have a license, so that would be driving in slippers 500, plus tricycle ban another 500 if they issue a ticket for both violations. You see they managed to stop a tricycle in the inside lane there. See this one, refusal to stop. And there you go. Oh, there you go, one of the big bikes went after him. There's a lot of vehicles parked in front of the market, owner type Jeep. This jeepney here, of course, as soon as the team arrive, they start to drive away. I don't know why this one's reversing so far. You'll see they'll ask for the license and then issue a ticket. And over here they're issuing a ticket to this gentleman. Unfortunately, his motorcycle is parked in the road.
Sa business namin yan, sir. Hindi naman ako nagtagal dito, sir, di ba?
Illegal parking, hindi na ako tagal. Once nakaparada ka sa maling paradahan, illegal parking. Pero police ka ba?
Hindi naman ako matagal dito eh. Di ba may minuto yan?
Pag pinuwing ka, meron kang 5 minutes.
Oh, wala pa naman ng 5 minutes dito eh.
Pinuwing ang pinag-uusapan natin. Pero pag illegal parking, kailangan mong tikitan pag nakaparada ka sa mali.
Dapat na rin. Sandali na. Grabe naman. Dapat na rin. Eh dito lang ako, saglit lang naman ako eh.
Saan ka ba nakaparada? Tama ba yung paradahan mo?
Nasa gilid naman ako eh.
Paradahan mo yan?
Hindi nga, pero saglit lang naman ako, dumaan ako dito. Eh bakit kayo sir, nakaparada rin kayo?
Meron mo na lisensya.
Oo. Saglit lang naman ako dito eh.
Ayaw bigil lisensya, anong gagawin?
Eh, hindi naman ako nagtagal dito sir eh.
Sir, ang bawal. Bawal pumarada rito. Ganon. Hindi sana yun.
Wala bang consideration lang? Sandali lang. Saglit lang, consideration lang yung hinihingi eh.
Wala ka lang. 5 minutes. Kung may hatak kami, nahatak namin 5 minutes. Pero pag ticket, may violation.
Oo nga, nakikiusap ako eh.
So the driver's now surrendered his license. They can issue the ticket and move on. Another tricycle driver does have a license, unfortunately driving in slippers and tricycle ban. So a total of 1,000 peso if they put both of the violations on the ticket. Right now they're issuing a ticket to this taxi parked here. Apparently he's waiting for engine parts from a shop, and they're also issuing a ticket to this one parked here. I'm not sure what his reason is. Perhaps also something related to the repair shops. And they're now issuing a lot of tickets over here. There's always every day a lot of vehicles parked here for repair. They park in the road, they park on the sidewalk. It's constant. You'll see that this taxi and the vehicle behind are obstructing the sidewalk. It's such a common problem here that they actually installed signs saying no parking on sidewalk. Normally you don't find signs like that because you don't have to say it. Every driver with a license should know it. One of the local MMDA is now going to issue a ticket to this taxi for obstructing the sidewalk. They did try to push it forward and say no, it's not on the sidewalk anymore, but when they arrived it's really obstructing the sidewalk. And as always, truck parked on the sidewalk in this location. Pretty much every time they pass through here they put a ticket on the windscreen, different truck each time. It's only 2,000 peso. For a regular person that might be expensive, but if you're a big truck company it's quite affordable, especially if you can't afford to make your own private property bigger. They're now issuing a ticket to this Fortuner. They consider it as obstructing the sidewalk. There's nowhere for pedestrians to go except for in the road. And the team are now writing out a ticket to this vehicle unattended. It's just in front of the market, and just in front of that one they're issuing a ticket to this one. And they're just writing out a ticket to this one now, illegal parking or obstruction. And one more being ticketed over here, again sitting on hazards, but hazards are for emergencies, not for parking. Even with 2 cars being ticketed, this one's pulled over and asked if it's okay to park, and they're advising him no, it's not okay. The team moved forward now and they found that that same car they warned earlier just parked further ahead, even though they warned him. They just chased down this motorcycle rider, refused to stop for enforcers, driving without helmet. Thankfully he does have a license. Hopefully they'll add the extra violations for refusing to stop. Sometimes the enforcers will show kindness to someone, but in my opinion if someone runs and you have to chase them, that puts so many people in danger, including the enforcers and members of the public, that I don't think there should be any kindness. They're now asking for the license of this driver so they can issue a ticket for parking in the road. I assume they're going to the bank, but unfortunately all of the parking spaces are full, so they parked on the road. Anyway, they've surrendered their license, so it'll be a quick ticket and then ask them to move on so they don't obstruct it. Oh, don't tell me a jeepney's gonna run again. See the one with the red roof? They've had that here so many times in front of Tandang Sora jeepney terminal. The jeeps park here, first lane, second lane, sometimes even the third lane. So many complaints about causing traffic here. When the enforcers come in, they often try to run, but in this case you see he did pull back over, so no drama here. They'll just issue a ticket to each one of these. Likewise, they're issuing a ticket to this one, partially on the sidewalk, partially in the road. And further along, they just finished issuing a ticket to that jeepney that drove away, and they're issuing another ticket over here. Aside from obstructing the road, all of the jeepney drivers are wearing slippers and no uniforms. And across from the jeepney terminal, the team are issuing multiple tickets to vehicles parked there. And this is amazing. So many times the sidewalk clearing team went here, and there used to be posts on the sidewalk, and the sidewalk clearing team, for whatever reason, they didn't do anything ever. And it looks like someone has now done it. Here there used to be a wall also obstructing the sidewalk. That's been knocked down. You see the sidewalk clearing team are here. It's a pretty small hall for today, just one table, and then the sign that you saw earlier. Just saw this tricycle take a U-turn and then counterflow. He knows there's so many enforcers around here, but he's going to take his chances anyway. It's really dangerous because he's got a passenger on board. The team just stopped this motorcycle here. Unfortunately, the back rider wasn't wearing a helmet. You'll see in the background everyone's moving their tables and chairs off the sidewalk. Sidewalk clearing team right there, not very impressed with them, to be honest. They should be more active in catching those things so they don't just keep coming back every single day. There was also a lot of tricycles and pedicabs here where they quickly ran inside also. Obviously pedicabs aren't actually allowed on this road, especially going the wrong way. But it's very rare that pedicabs, anything happens to them, because you can't issue them a ticket, they don't have a license. The only thing you can do is confiscate the whole unit, and generally they don't like to do that unless it's a last resort. But honestly, maybe the last resort already passed many years ago, because every day there's so many complaints about pedicabs on this road causing traffic, potentially causing accidents, and there has been no improvement. Sidewalk clearing team are over here. I'm not sure if they're going to be clearing this area. You'll see that the sidewalk's been overtaken. It looks like they're now taking their stuff inside, the tables, the chairs. Over here is another food store set up on the sidewalk. Actually, there's always a lot of taxis parked here, and they regularly get ticketed. Again, where's the sidewalk clearing team? They're not going to be making any difference because they're not... Well, there you go. I don't know what to say anymore. So they've moved it now, and of course that's the reality. It's not just an obstruction for pedestrians, it ends up obstructing the road because everyone parks here to have their lunch, to have their dinner, because it's cheap. But why is it cheap? Because it's on the sidewalk. There's no business permit, there's nothing basically. Just set up a business, do it on the sidewalk, and everyone else pays the price. And the team are now looking at this pickup truck parked here. The driver has come back, and likewise they're looking to ticket this one here and the one on the other side, both of them for obstruction or illegal parking, maybe both.